G'day mates, how's it going? I'm Mr. GT, welcome to the channel. Well, today you find me at a good mate's place. We're going to be checking out a Torana. We're going to be featuring it on the channel. There's quite a bit of a story that's going to be told about the car as well, and how he got it and what led to him. I won't say too much, I'm going to let him explain, but a lot of you guys will be able to relate to this story. So grab that nice icy cold beer, sit back, relax and enjoy the video. Ladies and gents, check out this beast. Now these, as you all probably know, the regular viewers will know that I love these cars. This is probably my favourite Holden, and the colour is just insane. Look how it stands out, mate. Beautiful. Since the bonnet's up, we'll go to the engine. Check out that engine bay, man. How beautiful is it? I was going to ask him if he had some bacon and eggs here. I was going to cook some on it. That's how clean it is. But all of you that know engines will realise that this motor is new technology with fuel injection, ECU, in an old body. How good's that, and how neat does that look, eh? And right next to me, I've got the owner, Joe. How you going, buddy?
How you going, George?
Thanks very much for allowing me to come and film this beautiful beast.
Mate. No problem, it's a pleasure to share it with the world.
No worries, lad. So, tell us a bit about it.
Mate, basically, it's an LX, 1976 model. I bought the car complete. I did a couple of little things after I bought it, just touched up. I bought it off a young guy who wanted to sell it. So yeah, I've always been a Torana man. I've owned it now for about 6 to 8 months, roughly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had Toranas when I was younger. Sold my first car to get married. That's another long story. And ended up separating, unfortunately, with my partner a few years back. And after doing that, I went and bought another one. Couldn't buy one while I was married, wasn't allowed, but now I am. So
now that's the part that I'm talking about. You lads out there, there's some guys that can relate to this.
Yeah, some guys can, some guys probably can't. But I wasn't man enough to stand up to it. But anyway, long story short, ended up buying one. At the end of the day, I'm happy. So yeah,
that's fantastic, man.
I was in two minds, George, whether to build one or buy one complete.
Yeah.
I saw the benefit in just buying it complete because I didn't have time to build, and I always thought it'd probably cost me a lot more as well. So I'm not a panel beater to take credit for panel work. I'm not I'm an ex-mechanic. I can't do much with motors and that these days. So what's the point of paying other people to do all the work anyway? You can
and
just
trying to find the parts too would be a big headache as well.
But then I just thought it's just a lot easier to find one complete. And I've been looking for many years, to be honest. And I found in the end, when I was able to buy one and grab it and finish it off and whatever, doing it my way, a couple of little things, I'm very content in the fact that I bought exactly what I wanted, and it was the best car that I've seen for years, that I've been shopping for, window shopping for 20 years. But yeah, in the end, when I was able to buy one, I was lucky to buy what I fell in love with. So yeah, it was good.
That's mad, mate. Fantastic. I'm very happy for you. Glad you found the right one, the one that you want. Let's just take a little walk around. Oh, check out the Simmons, ladies and gents. Sick. Mate, they suit the car beautifully, eh? That green and the black.
Yeah, it's the Barbados green, as your viewers probably know.
Barbados, yeah.
Yeah, but it's got a bit of a custom tint in it, and the black. It's got a full SLR trim. It's all genuine kind of inside. It's not a genuine SLR, or else I wouldn't be driving it as often as I do.
Yep. Nice dish on the back. Look at that, ladies and gents.
Yeah, yep. I drive it all the time, George. It's not like a car that I just garage. I drive it all the time.
That's good, man.
I'm 52. I don't know how many more decades I've got to live.
Mate, you don't look it. I'll tell you that. But
so I like to drive it. You know, I don't garage it like for nothing. Just I take it to some shows.
That's it. That's what I like. I like guys and girls that drive their cars.
Yeah, I do all the time.
It's not a garage queen.
That's my old car there, George. If you want to show the viewers.
All right, so that's what he had before he got married. Some of you guys might have seen it around, you might recognise it.
Yeah.
Beautiful. That was another great beast over there.
I sold it back in 1996 to a young guy. He was young at the time, but in Wollongong, young Macedonian boy. He was in Wollongong. Yeah. After that, I seen it a couple of times.
Yeah.
I seen it once. The owner of it around Croydon, he was driving it around, and I was in my club sport, so I pulled him over and. Yeah, we had a bit of a yarn about it. So,
that's it.
Yeah.
How'd you find the car? Was it still all right? In all right nick?
Exactly the same.
Oh,
it was
great.
It was a bit tired, but it was still the same.
Fantastic. Mate, I've always loved the back of these things. Check it out. Doesn't that look mean, eh? Well, I think the Torana SLRs have got the meanest look from the back. I love the way they look, and I think second, it's a toss-up for me with the XAXB coupes.
They're my second favourite car.
Yeah. So they were my favourite, and these were my second. But now, as I'm getting older, I don't know. I think these have got a bit more to it.
When you're young, you're either a Holden or a Ford man. I was always strictly Holden, didn't like any of Ford's enemy. But as you grow older, as we did, George, you appreciate the
especially these days, like this example that we've got over here. They make them immaculate to every single nut and bolt.
Yeah.
When we had our cars back in our day, there was always something missing.
Yeah.
Like there was a loose sun visor, or the cigarette lighter was missing, or one bolt here. But the car could do without it. But these days, everything is just immaculate, even to the last bolt, immaculate.
I drive it. I take it on freeways. I've taken it to Bathurst. I've done a few laps around Mount Panorama. I'm not afraid to drive it. It's quite reliable. It's a 2009 SS Commodore running gear, LS2 with a cam, as well, with a 6-speed manual, TS 6060 trans. Brand new tail shaft, 411 9-inch, they got redone. So the running gear is perfect. It's got wheel brakes on the front and master cylinder.
Sick.
The radiator's brand new, Finex with the fans. That's pretty much it. The subframe is aftermarket. Power steering. It's got power handbrake as well, George.
Sick. So you've got a lot of new technology in this. That's excellent, mate.
I'll open up the boot and I'll show you the power steering pump.
It's
got a.
Let's have a look.
It's got an Astra pump.
Beautiful.
Batteries in the back.
That's why the engine bay looks so neat.
Yeah.
And the Kura number plate stands for?
Kura, that's where Mum and Dad come from, George, in Lebanon.
Mad, mate.
It's my heritage. It's where, unfortunately, I lost both my parents.
Sorry to hear that, bro.
That's alright, bro. It's as we all do one day. Like they drive with me everywhere now. You know what I mean? Yep. It's where my mum and my dad come from, but neighbouring villages. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same sort of region. And I saw in your video of Greece, very similar. The video, it's all olive plantation, Bakura.
Yep.
It's a beautiful part of the world.
Same landscape.
Pretty much, and that's where the power steering pump is there.
Oh yes.
Just here.
Yep.
It's an electronic pump, and that's the handbrake mechanism. If I pull back the carpet, you can see the handbrake.
Sick.
It's all electronic.
Beautiful.
It's got some mod cons to it, but it's
and the batteries in there.
Batteries in there.
Good on them, mate.
Yeah, big battery. But I love it. It's good stress relief. Come over from work,
yes, 100%, man.
Its idle's really nice. Sounds nice and tough. We'll have a listen to it in a second, but
we'll do a nice cold start-up.
Pretty much, that's it.
Let me just feel a bit more of the interior.
Yeah, go for it.
Is it alright if I open this door?
Of course.
Thank you, sir. Oh yeah, go for it. Check it out, ladies and gents. What a beauty. So what I like about the 4 doors is very easy access. And now a lot of the overseas viewers, like from the States and that, most of their done-up cars are always like 2-door. And a lot of them ask in the comments, like, why you guys build 4 doors? But it's practicality and getting your friends in there as well. Like you can load 4 or 5 friends in.
I do weddings and school formals and that too, George. I've got a few weddings booked in for the year. I've done a couple already.
Sick.
I booked a few school formals as well, so I kind of pays for its rego and insurance on its own too, so it doesn't cost me anything to run all year, pretty much.
Fantastic.
With what I do for it. So,
Good
yeah,
on you,
look, I love the coupes, but I'm more of a four-door man. And when I was younger...
Yeah, same here, even though I had a coupe.
Yeah, funny you should mention that. And when I was younger, it's funny when age changes a person. Because when I was younger, I didn't like the flare kit.
Yeah, when I had the coupe and I used to see the four-door XAs and XBs around back then, I used to say, fuck, I wouldn't mind one of those.
Yeah. So I was never a flare person, but as I grew older, again, I changed.
That's
and,
it.
I just, I'm in love now. So I'm happy with it. Love it.
Beautiful, the seats all immaculate, door cards, the dash, all beautiful, the roof full immaculate. But we'll get a look at that. Oh, here we're going to go for a little drive in this as well, ladies and gents, so that's going to be something. But yeah, we're going to have a listen to it at the moment. Have a nice
got a bit of a cam in it,
V8.
that's about it. But yeah, there's plenty of horsepower. I haven't checked it, to be exactly honest with you.
Yeah.
At this stage, but...
Haven't checked the horsepower, you mean, eh?
Nah.
Yeah. Whoa! Yes, sir! Listen to that, ladies and gents. Is that music to your ears or what? Love that idle. But you can't put the idle of a V8 with a big cam in it. Never. Shit. Yes, let's go for a drive, ladies and gents. Yeah, yes, indeed. Oh, let's jump in. All right, ladies and gents, we're in. Whoa, yes, sir. Mate, straight away I noticed the stiffness of the car, and it takes the bumps beautifully.
Yeah, it's
sick.
It's got the independent
rear suspension.
Rear suspension. It's got the adjustable suspension on the front as well. So the car's a full restoration job, full nut and bolt restoration. There's nothing that hasn't been done to it. Even the my wiper motor's hidden. So everything's pretty much lightweight as well. So other than a good cruiser, it's got a lot of horsepower and it goes pretty quick too. But that's not my thing.
Mate, my neck nearly snapped off back then.
411s does that to you, George.
Yeah.
But it's a great cruiser as well.
Mate, it sounds insane. And ladies and gents, you know what I've noticed? This guy knows what he's doing, ladies and gents. He knows. I don't need a radio. I listen to my exhaust sound and the engine.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Don't need the radio, mate. And there's no radio in here.
That's it.
You don't need it. Mate, you've got the best sound as it is. Whoa, yes sir. You've got the treble, you've got the bass and the mid-range. It's all there. Sick stuff. Very nice ride. It doesn't crash over the bumps or you don't hit anything. It's beautiful. It just absorbs everything nicely. And it's got the nice bouncy feel, so it reminds you you're in a performance car. Yes, indeed.
I make sure because I use it, as I said, I use it for weddings and stuff too. So
yeah, so you got to look after it.
Yeah, and I just make sure it's comfortable.
That's it.
A lot of times I have bridesmaids and things like that, young girls in the back. And you don't want it to be too rough. It's got to be a bit smooth.
Yeah, this is exactly the way I like them to ride. The ride, it just feels beautiful. Feels very similar to my mate's ESP that I filmed, Sasha's ESP. I was very impressed in that thing as well, with the suspension feel, and this feels just like it.
Yeah, like, you know, you've got to, I suppose you've got to spread the money out and do everything even.
Yeah, that's it.
Beautiful day, eh, George?
It's a magic day. Magic day taking this beast out, getting all the looks, that sound. Mate, there's nothing like being in one of these muscle cars, man. It's just gives you that adrenaline rush, and also the feeling and the sound, the ride, the look, just everything about it.
I mean, like, I could have. I mean, I could have probably afforded a Ferrari if I wanted, or a Lambo, but it's not me, you know. I know my blood and my DNA is very much Lebanese, but my heart and soul is still an Aussie. So I love my Aussie muscle cars.
Yeah. There's just something special about them.
Yeah.
They really nailed it, Ford and Holden here in Australia. They made beautiful performance cars.
It's sad, George, they don't make them anymore, eh?
That is the killer.
It's sad. It's how, you know, a nation as great as our nation,
Yep.
and we can't produce a motor car.
That's right. Even the GTPs, you know, which were, or the last Fords, you know, the GTs that they made, and the HSVs, the clubbies and the GDSRs, and mate, even those, like, you miss them, even though they're newer technology, but they're still a muscle car. And, you know, I just wish that Australia would still produce those cars.
Even if they did, even if they just produced those muscle cars, for example, and
nothing else.
Just cars, put you know, a boutique market, you know what I mean, and put a premium price on them. I know our labour rate's quite high, and it's not very cost effective to build a car here, but charge for it. You know, there's a lot of enthusiasts out there that are paying 200 grand for a HSV now anyway.
Exactly.
So what's the difference? You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%, brother.
Put a price on them. You know, I'm buying. You know, instead of buying a Corvette or a Camaro or Mustang, and you know, buying American stuff, where we have our own product. You know what I mean?
That's it. I agree. I hope that it's a cycle and we go back to eventually building here again.
Yeah, I don't know about. Yeah, I don't know. I reckon I don't see it.
Because if COVID would have taught, you know, the countries a lesson. While China was shut down, we couldn't get parts for anything, you know, like
that's true.
Even building cars, because we couldn't get any chips and
couldn't build.
Lots of product shortage.
Yeah.
Like I drive now for a bus company here doing tourist driving, and our coach, one of the big coaches, has been off the road for like 6 weeks because there's no parts available in the country, and it's come from China and it's taken ages. So hopefully, even though I probably don't see it happening just like you can only wish.
Yeah, that's it. But anyway, it teaches us something. It's to appreciate the past and appreciate cars like this. I mean, the car's almost as old as I am, and
but it's brand new. It drives like brand new, it feels brand new, and it looks brand new.
Yeah, it is pretty much resurrected, as they say.
Yeah, exactly.
Brought back to life. But at the end of the day, there we go, some beeps. At the end of the day, it's just art. It's beautiful. It's a hobby. I mean, I don't do golf. I'm not a golfer. You know, I don't do much else. I like a bit of poker. But cars are my thing, you know. So whenever I'm stressed out, George, you jump in, go for a cruise.
Of course.
I drive it. Some guys won't drive their cars for months on end. I drive my car at least twice a week.
Good on you, man.
You know, it's my kids can have it when I'm gone. They can sell it and do whatever they want with it then. But in the meantime, I'm going to enjoy it, drive it. I didn't buy it just to look at it in the garage. I didn't buy it like with the thought that it's an investment and I'll make that money later, or I'll make the money back later, make more money later. That wasn't in my framework. My mind frame was like I love these cars with immense passion.
That's it.
And I just couldn't see myself going through my life not ever buying another one again. So when it came time to buying one, as I said earlier in the video, I made sure I didn't want the headaches. I just wanted to find one that was nice and clean and freshly built, It was the build was about a year old when I bought it. The guy had tried to sell it for a little while beforehand, but I think at the time the market wasn't the best, and he was asking a bit much for it. I got it down quite a bit, and bought it off him, and yeah, and ever since then it's been great.
Fantastic, lad. I agree with you 100% with your thinking.
I mean, to go out, George, buy a body, 30 grand, yeah?
Yeah.
A body works, another 60 grand. Interior, maybe 10, if you're lucky to buy the fine stuff, 10 grand. Running gear, I mean, all right, the engine's out of a 2009 SS Commodore, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Transmission came from one car. The wiring's all brand new and everything. The guy spent over 150 grand on it, you know, and I seen the build. Get a bit of
away from that guy, yes.
So yeah, and then it didn't make sense, and I couldn't be bothered with the headache, and it was exactly how I wanted. There isn't anything about the car that I'd change. Even the amount of horsepower for me. I mean, I'm not a drag racing guy. I'm not going to do roller racing or anything like that. So I'm happy with
just cruising it.
Just cruising, 6-speed. I can take it on the freeway.
Roots, too.
You know, as I said, it's a lot of fun.
Fantastic, brother. I too know what you mean. When I used to take my beasts out, you know, after a stressful day, just calm you right down and bring you happiness and enjoyment. It's just a different feel. There's a lot of people, you know, with standard cars, just regular cars, that think, what's all the fuss about? Mate, you've got to jump in one to see what we're talking about.
There's other motives along the way for me to buy it, George. I lost my parents, as I said, a little while back, and I have a disabled brother that I care for. My sister and I look after him. He's with me for a week and with my sister for a week. You know, George, after I sold my first car, he used to bug me about the first car every day of my life whenever I would see him. Are you buying the purple car back? Are you getting the purple car back?
Yeah.
You know?
All right, back on.
Righto, so yeah, my brother used to always, you know, ask about the car. So I bought this.
Was you sold it because of your wife, you said, eh?
I sold it not so much because of my wife, to get married.
Oh, right, she get married, okay, yes.
Yeah, and she didn't like it, she didn't want it. She just thought it was a hoon thing, got to grow up. You know, you're not 18 anymore. That's the thing, you know, there are blokes who are in their 70s and 80s, car enthusiasts who love old cars. There's nothing evil about owning an old car. But when the women, mate, when it doesn't suit them.
Yeah, I used to hear back in the day, like when I owned my cars, haven't you grown out of this yet? Like you're 30 years old, you know?
No, I've never grown out of it.
What's the logic in that? There's no such thing as growing out of it. If you love cars from a young age, you're going to love them forever.
Yeah.
So your brother was freaking out. When are you going to get it back, eh?
Yeah, so I ended up buying it, and I surprised him with it.
Oh, that would have been a mad.
So he started
reaction,
crying. Yeah, he's intellectually disabled with brain damage, partially.
Yeah.
And deaf. He's got a lot of issues, you know.
That's great, man.
My sister and I care for him.
That's great for him.
Yeah, so he's in love with it, loves it. So I take him in it every now and again.
Beautiful.
That's great.
Fantastic, man.
Always stick to the speed limit. Abide by the rules. You don't want to get attention.
Exactly.
I had a few cop cars driving beside me one time. They were at some issue in Maryland. God knows what it was. And I drove past them. Then they drove up beside me and they just gave me the thumbs up. They didn't ask me any questions. They didn't pull me over. I think they appreciated it and they moved on. So
yeah, I think they've started to realise that it's not these guys with these muscle cars that, you know, the troublemakers on the road anymore. What I'm seeing more bookings lately is women driving these things, like the one here, you know. Yeah. I see police always booking them these days. Don't know what they're getting up to, but yeah, the police seem to have matured in their relationship with us guys owning these sort of cars.
Yeah. So
I start to appreciate them at least.
yeah. So I don't know.
And yeah, we're not troublemakers. We don't get booked. Like I've got my full license as well, and you know, even though I haven't got a muscle car, it is sort of a muscle car, the E55. But it's fast. It's the 12-second car. Mate, I've got all my points, mate. We abide by the rules. That's it. Got to respect the rules.
That's it, and that's what I love about these car meets, that they just weren't around back in our day when we were young, George.
Yeah, no, they weren't.
You know, and it gives an outlet.
All those Dolls Point and stuff like that.
That's it. Well, it costing me a fortune every time I'd go down there. It cost me $1,000 to drive out. You know, so now the young guys and the older guys, the car enthusiasts have a point of
more variety.
You know, and an area where they can go and enjoy their hobbies and their cars and
compare and look at others.
Yeah, and appreciate.
You know? Talk about their history, and then
and it attracts hundreds of people that come down, and costs them nothing to come down and have a look.
That's it. That's why I go through all those shows. I love them too.
Every week there's one.
Every week, yes. Tomorrow there's a beauty at Bungaribee Park.
Yeah. I might go to it.
Yeah, I'm going to be there. Filming that one for sure. My mate Bugsy Isaac runs that one.
Yeah. I'm in their social group.
That's it. Mate, I love this thing. I feel like buying one, jeez. But it's just unreal to be in it. It just drives so beautiful. Just gives you that feel, man. It's a different feeling. And that sound.
Every now and again you give it a little squirt.
Yeah, that's it.
Doesn't hurt.
Makes it interesting. Get a bit of a neck snap and a bit of torque. Feel the torque, you know.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And one thing is you don't mind even being in traffic in these things. Just sitting there, because even the idle makes it interesting. Because you know you're listening to that
and
mad idle.
Being newer technology too. I have no issues with heating. It's a modern motor. You know, it's the radiator's brand new. The fans. It doesn't get over 180. You know, which is great. It's great operating temperature. I drive it. I drove it during summer. It was all right. Spring, now winter, of course, even better. But yeah, it's great.
Yep, all sorted. Bringing one of these beasts again. Sick stuff. So how did you start liking cars? Like, what was your first, you know?
My cousins were to blame. My cousins, my older cousin Nassif had an old HG white one back in the day.
Good influences.
Yeah, and my cousins also very close with that famous orange Cortina Walk 007.
Oh right, yes, that's also, a beast. Yeah, that around
Choc. They're also distantly related to my grandmother, related to my mum's side of the family. So these car enthusiasts, my older cousins. And my cousin Sam had a HQ that I used to drive. I learnt to drive on his car when I was like 16.
Yep.
And my dad had a HJ. I learned how to drive on his. So I was always a Holden man. I had no choice.
That's it.
But none of my cousins loved Toranas. No, they weren't really into Toranas. Toranas was my own thing. It's my own DNA, my own imprint.
Okay, yeah, you started. Yeah,
a mate of mine bought one when we were at TAFE, learning to be a mechanic. You know, my old TAFE mate Steve, he had a white one, LH 400 Chevy that Ned Sassine built a motor for him. Back when Ned, when we were kids, I fell in love with the shape of the LH LX. Seen my purple one, bought it, and the rest is history.
Magic.
Torana's ever since then.
But I can see why you like them. Because that's why I like them.
My cousins were all mechanics and into their cars, and they had their cars. My cousin Anthony had a HK Bathurst Genuine as well, so yeah, very much in my DNA.
Have they kept their cars or they sold them?
No, all gone.
Yeah,
all gone, so that's the
thing.
thing.
They all regret it, man.
They all do.
They all regret it.
Imagine what a genuine Bathurst HK is worth now. And you got it at the time. I remember when you bought it, I was only an apprentice working for them. I used to work for my cousins, you know. They had a workshop in Thornley. I remember at the time you bought it, it was pretty cheap. You restored it, kept it, and just got rid of it. Lifelong regrets, I suppose.
Yes.
But at the time, you have to, I suppose, you know what I mean? For whatever reason.
Yeah. Mate, if we had a crystal ball and we knew what was going to happen, we would have kept them.
My godson, my cousin Anthony's son, my godson Mitchell, he's restored a beautiful HQ. So he's taken after us.
That's it.
It's still very much implanted in the DNA. All my cousin's kids still car enthusiasts like their dads.
Mate, I asked him if he wants to put it on the channel.
Oh, no, I doubt it, mate. Mitchell's a bit of a private boy.
Okay, yeah.
Quite achiever.
No worries. Sick. Oh, let's have a look at this, ladies and gents, out here. We filmed it in the garage. We'll just do a little walk around. Come here, just look at that shape, man. Don't you just love it? And I can get a better shot of the back from here. I've got more room. Look at that. How mean does that look, eh? See. Love these standout colours. Nice exhausts. Nice deep dish Simmons. Beautiful paint. Makes you feel like having a lime lolly or a lime ice block. The mirror's perfect. Look at that. Yes, sir. Imagine that in the rearview mirror coming at you.
Better outside, huh?
Oh yeah, the colour just pops. Sick. I'm not going to talk for a bit. I'm going to let all my viewers just listen to and enjoy the sound of this beautiful beast. Just that verbal. Just when it idles like that, love it. Let me sit there. So if anybody else would like their car featured on the channel, it is free, I don't charge. So feel free, just either message me on Instagram you'll get it in the description box under the video, or my stuff where you can contact me. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the video of this great beast, the SLR 5000. And I would love to thank Joe very, very much for doing this for me and letting me feature his car on the channel. It was a pleasure, brother, and an honour.
No worries, brother. My pleasure and my honour as well. Lovely to finally meet you, George.
Nice to meet you too, buddy. And we'll see you at the shows.
See you later.
Bye, lads.